Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Helios MMA podcast. I'm your host Shomik, and today I will be recapping the UFC Vegas 36 card, which was headlined by Darren Till and Derek Brunson last weekend, and of course, lots of other European and British fighters were on that card. And for this video, I had to bring out my Liverpool shirt in honor of so many Scousers who fought on this card. And for anyone who doesn't know, I've been a Liverpool supporter for many years now. I have this Daniel Agger inspired tattoo that I got back in 2017, and also this You'll Never Walk Alone tattoo that I got on the day Liverpool beat Spurs to win their 6th Champions League in 2019. Anyway, let's get started with this video and dive right into UFC Vegas 36. So the first thing I would like to talk about is obviously the main event between Darren Till and Derek Brunson. Obviously, the fight didn't turn out the way as Till would have hoped for. I mean, the man had so much support coming into this fight during the media days and in all his interviews. He sounded very different that we usually get from the classic Darren Till. I mean, on the media day, he himself said that he was going in there with one mentality, and that was to fight, which was very different from what we usually get from Darren Till. I mean, over the past few months, Till has had quite a rough period of time. He had to withdraw from numerous fights, so of course we were all looking forward to seeing which version of Darren Till we would get once he came back. And yeah, honestly, my first reaction to how everything played out was that Till looked very incomplete to me out there. Incomplete as a fighter. He struggled a lot than we probably expected him to against someone who's good on the ground, and honestly, Till seemed very lost in there inside the octagon. Especially when he went to his corner, you could see that look on his face when his eye was all swollen up, and you could see that his confidence was eventually fading away, knowing that he constantly got taken down by Derek Brunson and he was constantly being battered. So the first round obviously went as one would have expected. Till was able to catch Brunson with some good shots, and his movement looked very good and very smooth to me early on. But of course, everyone expected Brunson to go for those takedowns, and to make things worse for Darren, Brunson wasn't just sitting back and using his wrestling on the ground. He was constantly battering Till and was pretty much assaulting Till with those ground strikes, which were absolutely brutal to watch. It was something Derek Brunson did against Edben Shabazian, and Till similarly took some heavy damage in that opening round itself when he was on his back. But then, credits to Darren Till. I think he did a good job in the remainder of the round. He got back up eventually and managed to see through that first round, but it was pretty much obvious by that point that Derek Brunson had won that opening round, and he so comprehensively did so. So the second round, and this is where I was really impressed by Darren Till in this fight. Derek Brunson almost immediately comes in for the takedown, and Till actually shows signs of improvement in not being taken down until Brunson just slams him onto the ground. Just when I thought that Till could have turned this fight around, and when he was starting to show signs of improvement, it all goes back to square one. However, credits to Derek Brunson here though. In the second round, he was very smart, I think. He didn't have to waste extra energy. He kept pressuring Till on the ground and also mixed it up with those strikes, and that was pretty much enough for him to win that round. After the buzzer, I think everyone had realized that this fight was going to go towards this direction if it had gone this 5 rounds, and you could see the pressure on Darren Till's face. It was all getting to him at that point. And the commentators, including DC and Michael Bisping, also mentioned that Darren Till came in expecting a fight like that, so that was pretty much all there to that round. He got taken down once again, and he was being dominated on the ground. The third and final round of this fight, and the swelling on Darren Till's eye just got worse by the second. But this is the round where I think Till finally woke up and he realized that he had to do something here. He finally started landing those low kicks, and he constantly kept spamming those, so to speak. With just 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in that round, Till finally starts to mix it up and land those left hands, and for this one slight moment, a part of me felt that Darren Till can pull off the shock victory here. And for a moment, I did think Brunson was also a little wobbled when he got hit with that big left hand from the top. But of course, all of that didn't really matter as he almost immediately went for that takedown and secured it as well. And of course, then within no time, Darren Till decides to give up his back and Brunson submits him with a rear naked choke. But overall, a very poor performance from Till in my opinion. We expected a more ruthless version of him, but very disappointing at the end of the day. Anyway, what's next for Darren Till? I've seen a lot of people suggest that he should move back down to 170, and a part of me thinks that would be the right call here. After all, at one point, Till was in prime position to beat Tyron Woodley and win the UFC Welterweight Championship. So a move back to 170 would be logical, and knowing that Till himself thinks that he could offer a little more at welterweight makes you really think that, okay, maybe he considers that as an option moving forward. But a part of me also would like to see Till at middleweight. I mean, the guy has only lost to the top contenders in this division, but if I'm the UFC, I wouldn't want Darren Till to go 1 and 5 with another loss in his next fight. If Till is to continue at middleweight, give him someone outside of the top 10 maybe, or maybe give him someone who's not even ranked at the moment. Let him build his confidence slowly. I do think Till has a lot of potential and he could eventually become a legit threat in this middleweight division, but you cannot let all this potential go to waste by having him fight top ranked guys and then lose to them and pretty much become a gatekeeper of this stacked middleweight division. You know, you cannot let Darren Till become another Kelvin Gastelum. You see, Gastelum is willing to step in and fight anyone on short notice, but he has lost so many fights in the recent past few months, and is pretty much become a gatekeeper at this point. You cannot do that with Darren Till. You will have to have him build up his confidence slowly and then move step by step to the top ranks and fight eventually for the title. But then again, what I think Darren Till should do here is stick to middleweight, fight the lower ranked guys, and then move to the title slowly and eventually. Now, moving on, let's talk a little bit about Derek Brunson and what could be next for him. A big win nonetheless, but I don't really think he's getting the title shot next. And the obvious choice for Brunson's next fight for him would be to fight Jared Cannonier, or maybe he gets the winner of Paulo Costa and Marvin Vittori. But let's talk about Derek Brunson versus Israel Adesanya 2 for the time being. Let us just talk about the potential scenario here. Brunson in this fight against Till looked dominant, but let us not forget that he was caught with several good shots by Till, so you could probably imagine what a striker like Adesanya would do to Brunson. And let us not also overlook the fact that Adesanya is quite taller than Till. And the last time we saw him fight against Marvin Vittori, his defense was obviously very good. And with that being said, I don't think Derek Brunson has what it takes to beat Adesanya the second time around. So yeah, Israel Adesanya is just the complete package at the moment right now. He's a better striker than Darren Till is. So I obviously expect Brunson to get caught more times than he did against Darren Till if he fights Adesanya next. And given on Brunson's last performance against Darren Till, I don't think he has what it takes to beat Adesanya, not at least right now. So yeah, I would rather have Derek Brunson fight someone like Jared Cannonier maybe, who was victorious against Kelvin Gastelum, and maybe the winner of that could go on to fight for the championship, given the fight between Adesanya and Robert Whittaker takes place next year. Anyway, that was my assessment of this middleweight fight. We shall see what's next for Darren Till and who Derek Brunson faces next as well. And let me know your thoughts in the comments and whatever else you have in mind. Let me know below. And yeah, that was it for Darren Till versus Derek Brunson from UFC Vegas 36. So moving on, the next fight I'd like to talk about is of course the victory for Tom Aspinall in the co-main event. I mean, what an exceptional talent this guy is. The complete package that you would like to see at heavyweight. I expected Aspinall to have a little bit of a tough time in this fight, but then his composure is something that has really impressed me so far. You could see it from his body language from whenever he's doing an interview or is talking to the media. So I think this composure factor was something we saw this past weekend against Sergey Spivak. A big victory for Aspinall. He caught Spivak with that brutal elbow and finished the fight within the blink of an eye. An impressive finish right there. And these are really exciting times at heavyweight right now, especially with guys like Aspinall and the interim champion Cyril Gane. I mean, these are guys who are swift in their movement for someone who is fighting at heavyweight. Obviously, Aspinall has mentioned he will be taking things slowly in his rise in the heavyweight division, which is the most sensible approach a fighter could take. And personally, I think he should be fighting someone like Augusto Sakai next. I mean, that would be a solid fight right there, and that fight would make a lot of sense given their rankings at the moment. And nonetheless, the UFC definitely has a big star in the making in the form of Aspinall, and we shall see how his journey unfolds in the heavyweight division. And it's one to look out for. Tom Aspinall is the deal right now in terms of guys who are on the rise in this stacked heavyweight division. So the remainder of the fights, I didn't really pay much attention to the Alex Morono fight, so I'm not going to go into details with that one. But big shout out to him for an impressive victory, as far as I've heard. But shout out to Khalil Rotri Jr. as well. I mean, he looked like an absolute beast out there. He kept landing bombs on Bakauskas. Credits to Bakauskas as well for surviving as long as he did in there. But then again, a really brutal finish with that oblique kick, something that has been highly talked of ever since that fight. And there seems to be a lot of controversy surrounding it. But if you ask me, I don't think that something should be banned from this sport. Anyway, let's talk about Paddy Pimlet now, shall we? I mean, what a fight and what a way to make your UFC debut. He came in with a bang, took some shots to the chin, and then boom, gets the finish out of nowhere. Insane fight, and the UFC definitely has a big marketable star in the form of Pimlet. This guy definitely knows his value, and on top of that, is quite good on the mic as well. The promo slash interview that he delivered after the fight was quite solid as well, and he just keeps on adding to this stacked UFC lightweight division. I'll tell you guys this. Get excited for Paddy the Baddy Pimlet because this guy is going to bring the show every time he steps into that octagon. And my hair probably just looks like discount Paddy Pimlet at the moment, so let's not talk about that. Anyway, shout out to all the winners from that card, including Molly McCann. A big victory for her as well. And yeah, that was it for UFC Vegas 36. I mostly spoke about Darren Till and Derek Brunson because that was the fight that caught most of the attention, especially with the Darren Till performance and of course Paddy Pimlet as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts below. Drop a like on this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching.